You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I am back. Rudrance for Black and White Sports 2. Well, we got more Lamar Jackson action because I get up this morning and late last night and also during the day, Arthur Blank, the Atlanta Falcons owner, came out and made some comments, and it sort of has started a shitstorm involving Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, where they are with Desmond Ridder. They also signed Taylor Heineke. Anybody remember that? A lot of people, including myself, thought, okay, the Falcons are going to be the ones that's going to land Lamar here, right? It makes a lot of sense. In Atlanta, they would love Lamar Jackson in the same way that they once adored Mike Vick. Now, if you're Mike Vick's sitting back going, yeah, but I was willing to play hurt for my team because I love to play. Mike Vick, critical of Lamar Jackson last year, said put a brace on it. Get your ass in the game. And it's clear. It is very clear that Lamar Jackson missing games at the end of the last two seasons, especially this last season, this is affecting him greatly. It's affecting him greatly, along with the fact that it seems like every owner has a different reason, right? We've got Jim Irsay that you can tell, and honestly, I think the Colts are probably the leader right now for getting Lamar. If Lamar is willing to come off the guaranteed contract thing, because Jim Irsay come out and made it clear, you're not getting a guaranteed contract from us. You're not. But Chris Ballard did say they're looking into Lamar. Okay, so I think if you get it, and look, Lamar, it can't be damn near all guaranteed either. Okay, you got to be willing to take something like 180 of 250 guaranteed. 165 of 250 guaranteed. It can't be 210 of 250 guaranteed, because they're worried about your injury history. The NFL is worried about your injury history. So let's get to this. This is Josh Kendall of The Athletic, who they talked to Arthur Blank yesterday, the Falcons owner. He said Tuesday Lamar Jackson's situation is, quote, very different from Deshaun Watson's last year. A different player, a different time. You have a winner in Jackson, an MVP in the league. There's no question he's one of the top quarterbacks in the league. More blank on Jackson. Looking at it objectively, I'd say there's some concern over how long he can play his style of game. Hopefully a long time. But he's missed 5-6 games each of the last 2 years. Each game counts a lot in our business. Now, look, this has been met with some backlash, okay? It has been met with some backlash. I've said, they have really, the mainstream media has really made it a priority to get Lamar Jackson on a new team and get him signed. Again, I think they once did that with Cam Newton. So I don't know what the deal is, but the media, they're going to say things as we go down the list of feedback here. You can tell this is personal for the media in some way, some shape, form, or fashion. Like we're talking about it here today. This is not personal for me in the least. It's just not. The Falcons are a team with young players primed to break out over the next season. Arthur Blank, the Falcons team owner, made it clear he's going to stick with Desmond Ridder as the starting quarterback, despite the former Cincinnati standout only having 2 touchdown passes in the 4 games he started. Blank said Tuesday he was impressed with how far Ridder has come from the first day he walked in the facility to the final game of 2022. Now, here's a little tidbit that I'll throw in. Chris Sims was talking about Desmond Ridder the other day, and he does not believe he's going to make it here, okay? He does not think think he's necessarily seen anything that would lead you down the road of believing Desmond Ridder is a long-term quarterback solution. Well, they also signed Taylor Heineke, who started a hell of a lot of games in the NFL. So that's something to think about too. They obviously want some kind of insurance policy. But what about Jackson? The Ravens quarterback could be a game changer for the franchise. It appeared the Falcons were in the market for a quarterback last season as they were finalists for Deshaun Watson, despite Watson being in the middle of 24 civil lawsuits accusing him of misconduct. The team reportedly balked at giving Watson a fully guaranteed contract. Okay, so that's telling you right there that the Falcons also have an issue with a fully guaranteed contract, and that was the deal breaker between the rest of the NFL and the absurd Cleveland Browns. They just weren't going to do it, okay? Blake explained the situation was different from last year and lamented the restraints the team would have if they invested a quarter of the team's money into a single player. All right. I think we explored the one last year, which is what our responsibility was, Blake said, of a potential Watson deal via the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. We didn't explore it deeply. We spent some time on it from a legal standpoint, personal standpoint, value standpoint, on the player and a variety of things. Soon after we got into exploring, we decided it wasn't a very good match. Okay, so that's interesting. Arthur Blank is actually pushing back against the narrative that they were deep in Deshaun Watson. He said they explored it, they looked into it, and decided Deshaun wasn't a good fit either. And of course, everybody is mad. Everybody is mad because Lamar came out and was talking about the fact that, Arthur Blank came out and talked about the fact that Lamar gets injured. Well, Lamar Jackson, he actually clapped back on this late last night. On Tuesday, Falcons owner Arthur Blank specifically mentioned Jackson's recent injury history when distinguishing Atlanta's intense 2022 interest in Deshaun Watson from its current lack of interest in Lamar. That, or maybe something else, prompted Lamar to sound off on social media tonight. Quote, "Let's get real," Jackson tweeted. "I'd rather have a 100% PCL than to go out there and play horrible, forcing myself to put guys in a bad situation. Now that's selfish to me." Yes, but the league doesn't agree with you, Lamar. And that's kind of what matters right now. Again, the feeling is you could have played and you didn't. And that's all over the league. Jackson also said, "I don't remember me setting out on my guys week 1 versus the Jets to week 12 versus the Broncos. No, you just set out when it meant the most. How come all of a sudden I set out because of money in which I could have got hurt at any time within that time frame, when we know the Super Bowl been on my mind since April 2018. So, look, he fired back, but it's pretty clear the league doesn't exactly agree with Lamar on this. And there was some feedback, as you can imagine, on Twitter. Clarence Hill Jr., the Commanders and Falcons, saying they would rather have Sam Howell and Desmond Ridder over Lamar Jackson is downright absurd. But here we are. When teams say their primary focus is winning, they are lying. Maybe their primary focus is not giving $250 million large, fully guaranteed. Maybe that's a priority too. I like Desmond Ridder at Cincy. Bearcats were covering machine for Arthur Smith to come out and shut down Lamar talk with Desmond as our week 1 starter. What do NFL teams know about Lamar Jackson that fans and the media do not? And this is Steve Weiss talking to Arthur Smith, and he goes on about the fact that Desmond Ridder is the guy. I'm not going to play that. Arthur did not understand the assignment. He's right. The situations are very different. Watson missed way more games. And wait till he finds out why. And, of course, there is his comments about Arthur Blank and Ashley Nicole Moss. This makes zero sense. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy again. it's showing up as a priority. Hey, media, your virtue signaling is showing again. You might want to cover that up. I mean, they're obviously making it a priority. They want Lamar to get signed. If clubs don't want to, if owners don't want to sign him, it's their prerogative to not do so. It's their franchises, and I've heard enough from enough people on this. Again, there is a absolute feeling. Do not lose sight of the fact there's an absolute feeling that Lamar quit on his team last year. You know, that's floating around. John Harbaugh made some comments. You know, a lot of guys came out, go play. And you miss games at the most crucial time of the year. Also, something to take into account here, I do believe that there are people in the NFL out there that has looked at what has happened to Cam Newton, okay? Because it's awfully odd. Lamar, Cam, both won MVPs, both started having a downward trajectory, both started having injury issues, and I think a lot of people are looking at the fact that Cam is not old right now. Cam Newton is not old, and he can't play anymore because of his running style and how he played the game, and Lamar is smaller than Cam. Okay, and at the end of the day, for all these people banging the drum for running quarterbacks, how's that working out for you? Because at the end of the day, teams don't want to pay for these running quarterbacks. They don't want to risk investment when they're talking about $200 to $250 billion. Yeah, NFL owners are not in the business of making intentional, blatant, bad business decisions. Sometimes it still happens. Sometimes you still draft the wrong dude, yada, yada, yada. But when it's intentionally looking bad, they don't want to do it. They don't. So I don't know how this plays out. I truly don't. It's going to be, it seems, a new daily story on Lamar all the time. It's crazy. I know the league meetings are going on right now, but wow. I mean, I did a video on Lamar yesterday, and I mean, literally, Lamar tweeted that out at 10:45 last night. It's crazy how this story is working. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.